study nature and how to help the earth.
Demonstrate a different body of water. So maybe all your cups of water are lakes, maybe they're the ocean, maybe they're a pond, whatever you want to imagine it as. But what we're going to be doing is everything that we add is going to demonstrate pollution. So my food coloring is pollution, my vinegar is pollution, and my salt is pollution. And we're going to see the ways that maybe scientists can detect if there's pollution or not. All right. So the first cup of water, what you're going to do if you have food coloring is you're going to just add maybe a couple drops of food coloring to your first glass of water. All right. So now in our first cup, we have food coloring. In our second cup, what I want you to do is pour a little vinegar. So this smells bad. Even though this looks like a water bottle, this is vinegar. So I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit of my vinegar into this cup. And in our very last cup, once you're done pouring vinegar, you're going to pour some salt. So sometimes you can detect pollution because of color. What's another example of pollution that you can see?
Oil.
Oil, perfect. All right, let's move on to our second cup. I want everyone to find out how you could tell that the vinegar water is polluted. What's the best way?
By smell.
It is stinky. This vinegar smells bad. So that's another way that you can detect pollution. But this cup really demonstrates how sometimes you can't see or smell pollution. So the salt in here, it might have a little bit of a fresh smell, but it doesn't smell that strongly, and the water is all still clear. So in this case, you would probably have to test the water to find pollution. So there's a lot of pollution that's like this. A lot of chemicals that are in our water, they don't smell and they don't look like anything, but if you tested the water, you would see that it's polluted. So sometimes scientists can see pollution, sometimes they can smell pollution, and sometimes they have to test the water to see if there's any pollution.
I came from Florida. That's where I studied for undergrad, but right now I'm currently studying ocean science at USC. I'm very blessed to have this opportunity. But down in undergrad, my main focus was chemistry. I studied down in Fort Lauderdale at a school called Nova Southeastern University. But when I'm not studying, I love spending time outside. I love hiking. I love surfing. It's a little bit too cold to go surfing right now, but when the weather's good, I try and get out there. Just being outside in nature is really one of my joys. But a little bit about my work in undergrad. I really started my focus in the marine environment there during the first years of college. That got me interested in what kind of communities I could join. So a lot of the places I reached out were education centers. One of them in South Florida was in Hollywood, known as the Marine Environmental Education Center. And one of the things that they did there was took care of turtles. So the little image at the top, that's a picture of a captain eating some lettuce. That was a little sea turtle that got hit by a boat. And unfortunately, that accident caused it to get some air trapped in its shell. That caused it to float, and it would never really be able to live by itself forage for food in the wild. So they brought it to the center where they take care of it permanently. And they educate people about the dangers of boating, as well as other issues that impact turtles. Now, talking about studying the ocean and why do I study it? It's because it's so important for protecting the planet, just because it's so much of our planet. They say over 70% of our bodies are made out of water, but 7% of our surfaces as well. And that has a big effect on things that go on in environment. So it helps control our temperature, but it also helps control our climate by taking in those gases that we produce, known as greenhouse gases that help warm our planet. A lot of those gases go into the ocean instead of remaining in the atmosphere. But those are going to cause changes into the ocean, and we need to study those changes so we can better protect it and better be prepared for what causes and effects are going to come. Now we're going to talk about really what I was doing in my time in grad school, studying the ocean. And really, a lot of that work was on this boat in front of us, a research vessel known as the Oceanus. It's based in Newport, Oregon. We had an opportunity to go along the coast of Oregon and Washington, as well as a little bit off the shelf of the ocean, the Pacific, to try and see what's in the water, what kind of nutrients are in the water, and that distribution. So again, this shows us a really great image of the coast of Oregon and Washington. You can see this green stuff right here. That's all of that algae. That's all of those phytoplankton that are serving as that basis of the food chain. They're the ones taking in those nutrients, and larger fish are going to feed on that phytoplankton too.
Science is a relationship between human activity and the environment. I hear somebody in the water discovering the sea, and I think it also means plants, animals, and the earth. So I kind of do this picture of someone diving into the ocean, and like on the other side, there's a guy on a boat. And these little things are like coral. Yeah, they take care of the ocean, the plants, and the animals.